I always think that sometimes with teachers, people are unpractical about what, like this expectation that they have of the teacher. They have this expectation that the teacher, obviously not me, because of the way that I share and the way that I speak, I don't think people have this high expectation of me. But with the teachers that place flowers by their side, which I have done sometimes, but flowers by themselves and sides, and they wear robes, and I'm not criticizing that. I've got my particular robes on, and they're wearing robes and they look very elegant, and we edit out anything that doesn't fit with that image. It's the way that our minds work, because our mind is a storyteller, and we like to have fixed stereotypes which we can place onto people. So to you, I'm a fixed stereotype, although I'm a little bit confusing, because normally in our society, somebody that looks like me wouldn't necessarily at such a young age be into this subject, but even that has a stereotype to it. So that has a stereotype. So we like to have this stereotype. So we have this image of these spiritual teachers. So say like Sai Baba, Gangaji, not Gangaji, Sai Baba, she's not that big, but like Ama, Muji. And we have this image and we cut out anything that doesn't fix with the image that we have with them. So with those people, the image of them going to the toilet doesn't work. So we cut out, we edit that they go to the toilet. We edit that out. That's not something that they do. And it's not that we're consciously editing it out. We don't just think, oh, I'm going to edit that out. It's just our imagination of that cuts out. It cuts out certain behaviors. So if they had a screen in front of them with their own image and they were doing a talk like I am, we cut out the image that they would be looking at themselves, because the idea of them being vain doesn't work. That's not what they are. They're not somebody that will look like a child at themselves. Like can you imagine Muji sitting there and he's doing a talk and then he's looking at himself in the break, or he's looking at himself when he finishes talking, or them. What other type of things wouldn't be stereotypical that they do? Pick their nose or something, or eat it. They definitely don't do that. I assure you, they don't do that. Or change a light bulb, or mow the lawn. But our brain likes this image because that's safe for our brain. That's what we do with ourself as well. So with yourself, you want to live up to an image. So when you get into spirituality, you have this image of what you want to be, this peaceful person. And then when you get angry or you lose your temper or you get frustrated, you then have this extra drama that doesn't fit in with who you want yourself to be in the timeline. And really all we ever are is what we are here, this vulnerable, naked, succulent, sensual, present moment. This is what we are. We're not this image of ourselves of a enlightened or peaceful or angry or grumpy or mean or selfish. We're just what we are. We're responding in every moment. And this is what these teachings point to, that this person that you think yourself to be is, number one, a cage, because you have to always live up to that, and you're not free to be what you are in the moment. You're living up to this image of yourself. And so one, it's a cage, and two, it's what creates suffering, because that feeling, that cage that you put yourself in, feels uncomfortable. So then you seek for something better. So rather than being here and being whatever you are, whether it be picking your nose, doing the naughty, whether it be angry or happy, you're looking to the future and you're comparing to the past and wanting to be something better for the future, where all you are is what you are now. And that's all you have to be, is what you are now. It's very simple. And that applies for a lot of your problems. Even though you think that your problems are really about your problems, that's just what you think. So let's take an everyday example of a problem. So a problem might be that you get overstressed about making a choice about something, and your mind keeps compulsively thinking about it. It the reason that your mind is most probably compulsively thinking about this choice and putting too much emphasis on this choice is because it fears what will happen in the future. It fears that it will make the wrong choice and it will be painful. And it believes it's its choice, that you choose, it's your choice, and it's your job to make yourself happy, and that you've got the possibility of making yourself unhappy. You can't make yourself happy or unhappy. You're just what you are in the moment. Whether that be happy or sad, excited or angry, you're just as you are, and that's the freedom. And that's not a solid entity. We have characters that follow particular prototypes, but that's not who we are. That's something that just appears. Who you are is this presence that's right here. And this is your home, and no matter what happens through the ups and downs of life, whether you get something, you lose something, you enjoy something, you hate something, whether you're suffering or not suffering, what you always have is this moment, and this moment is what's home. This moment's what you look for. But if your mind is really deep in suffering at the moment or really contracted, maybe that's hard to hear because you think that this moment is so uncomfortable or so painful. But there's something else here that's vibrating love and life and joy and excitement, and that's who you are. Your personality structures, going to at time bring you up great pleasure and at time great pain. But your freedom isn't found in that. There's something that is appearing in. That's so free and always here. And I could go on endlessly talking about this. There's so much that could be said. There really isn't a teacher or a guru. There's only what's happening. And what's happening is the perfect display of things. And what's happening, it might appear that I'm teaching you things that you did not know, but who am I and who are you? Once you begin to break that barrier down, you begin to see there is only what's happening, and there's no one being taught anything. There is only life, and life is free and beautiful, and life is here. Life didn't arrive from the past and isn't going into the future. Life is right here in this. It's very simple. You don't need to work yourself out or have the perfect conditioning. Well, that's the way I teach it. You can work yourself out to an extent. You can work your conditioning out so your life becomes more balanced, because if your conditioning is very difficult, then your choices that you make, it's like a robot, the choices that are made will be in that difficulty. And also what's very interesting about us as humans is that which causes us pain, we tend to be attracted to because we want to heal it. It's very interesting. So we tend to have this attraction towards that which is creating pain, and noticing these dynamics can improve the apparent internal and external, so your choices, what you do in your life. But that's not the freedom. What the freedom is right here. It's what that personality structure appears in. You're never going to get to the end of the personality structure and have this perfectly balanced, empty personality structure. It's never going to happen. You'll be chasing that forever. There is something else that's free, and that will more than likely make you a more balanced personality structure. But only more balanced, I would have thought. That's the way I see it. I'm open to the possibility of meeting a perfectly balanced personality structure. I don't know what that would look like, and I don't know if anybody would ever recognize it, because how would you define that? We would like to define it as the absence of any negative emotion, but the more I've investigated the human level, the more I've realized that negative emotions is as important as positive emotion. It's the way this body distinguishes moving towards pain and pleasure. If you didn't have negative emotions, you wouldn't move away from pain. You wouldn't move away from the fire. But you make up your own mind about that. I don't really care about that issue, or teaching you that issue. The only reason that I speak about it is to try to relax the seeking energy that's trying to produce a perfect human being. And just embrace what you actually are. This is what you've been given. This is what you've been given. This life, this certain set of circumstances. It's such a negative mentality to always be trying to pedal away from what you've actually been given, what this life has dealt. I can always see how what I could say could be said from a different angle. It's true in one way, but in another way it's not true. That's the flexibility of the mind. To not hold anything as a truth. To see that all words are simply pointing to something, but they're not truth. They're not fixed. None of our words are fixed. There is no fixed reality that we can name and we can state. Again, that's like the perfection of emotions. We like this idea that we're going to get to this perfect sentence, or this perfect idea, or this perfect thought. And all that time while your mind's looking for that, here you are, and here is the perfection in what's happening. In what's happening. You don't need anything else to happen. And I'm not talking to you on the human level about that. The human says, I don't need anything else to happen, and the human tries to be passive. I'm talking about something which is beyond the human level that knows this. That there's something else here, there's something else happening, and the person has its likes and its dislikes. It gets things it doesn't, it has tantrum, it's happy, sad, joyful. And then there's something else here that's always peaceful and always free.